All right, hopefully these birds are not going to attack me while I'm doing this. I'm kind of encroaching upon their space. I just wanted to share real quick today. I've been working on this video about the Helios 44-2 lens, which I'm shooting with right now. So I've been working on this thing, and to be honest with you, the video started out as I think the Helios is overrated. You know how everybody thinks it's this legendary lens. It looks so different. It's amazing. Everybody should own one. Once you get one, you'll never be happy with another lens. Like, I've heard so many crazy things about it, and I bought one, a long time ago, and I've used it quite a bit, but it never quite struck me as amazing as people say it is. Like, it never hit me like it's that different. And maybe it's because I use vintage lenses, 99% of the time, and I use anamorphic lenses, so I'm already used to imperfections and character and, stuff like that. Weird looking bokeh, interesting looking image quality, and I just never quite understood what was so different and so magnificent about the Helios 44-2. And so I made a video about it the other day, and I talked about how overrated it is. But then I thought to myself, you know what? Let me go out and really use this thing. Like, let me just shoot with the Helios in the way that I think people would probably see that magic. Like, I haven't really used it in that way, I guess. I mean, it's really sharp. And yeah, I do see a cool bokeh, in the background and stuff, or in the foreground. But I never quite got it, But I'm here to say I got it. Like, I've been shooting with it for the last 2 or 3 days, and oh my God, it is so different. It is amazing. It is very unique. I don't know, like, I use these Minolta Rokkor lenses, and they're incredible, but I have to say that they're not that different from every other lens. I mean, they are a lot different. I don't know. It's hard for me to explain what I'm feeling right now, but my Minolta lenses definitely are my go-to lenses, because they're a good balance of being sharp enough if I need them to be that way. If I step down my aperture and I'm shooting at f8 or f11 or something like that, they're great, But if I do want to shoot wide open and I want to get that character, they're amazing. The color rendering, the character of the lenses, the perfectly imperfect nature of them is something that really resonates with me, and I use them all the time. I just shot a whole feature film using the Minolta Telesor 28mm f2.8 and a Rokkor 50mm f1.4, and it looks beautiful. It's amazing. But man, I was running around with this Helios the last couple of days, and it's funny. It almost looks like a anamorphic with a 2.0 squeeze factor, like a real expensive anamorphic lens. I have the Siri APS-C 1.33 anamorphic lenses, and they're amazing. And I'm actually about to shoot a feature film with those lenses. I have the 24, the 35, and the 75. So that's like the equivalent of 28, 40, and 85. And they look beautiful. I mean, the colors on those anamorphic lenses are, like really, really special. And they also have all the character, and they got that cool bokeh. And, they have the flares if you want that, but it's not something I'm really preoccupied with. But there's something about this Helios, and you can't see it here. And you won't see it until tomorrow when I show it to you. But, because this is just shooting, I'm at f8, I'm underneath a bridge, I'm shooting pretty far away, I'm about 10, 12 feet from the camera. It just looks like a regular lens. But I think one of the coolest things that I experience when doing these kind of videos, and I don't really do filmmaking videos that often. I'm more into doing videos that, that are more about life in general, I guess I'm more of a, I don't know what you want to call me. That's the problem. I can't niche down. I can't define what my channel is. But sometimes I do these filmmaking videos, and the cool thing is when you really, like, it just made me think, like, how often do influencers or YouTubers or whatever you want to call them, how often do they really truly dig in and use something? Because I've been talking about the Helios for a long time, and I realized that I didn't really know it at all. I didn't really understand, how when you use that second aperture ring, you can control the shape of the bokeh. You can control the way it looks in the background or the foreground. You can set your aperture at, say, f8, but then you can shoot from anywhere from f2 to f8 because it's an f2 lens. And this thing allows you to move around between the aperture that you set and the fastest aperture. And I know that they did that so that you can focus, just to get it as bright as possible, get in focus because it's a manual lens, and then go back to the aperture that you chose. But I think the magic is messing with that second ring. I think that is what's special about the Helios. And it is very special. And I think if you work with it a lot, if you practice, like I'm looking at it like a guitar or a piano, like it's really an instrument that you have to work at to kind of master, to really understand how special it is. I mean, first, obviously, you have to master your camera. And that's why, that also, by the way, is a good reason to not be switching cameras all the time, because, you get used to your camera, how heavy it is or how light it is, where the buttons are, where the dials are. You start to get that muscle memory and you start to be able to navigate. And so once you have the camera down, if you have a lens like a Helios, or if you're out there shooting manually and you're, manually focusing or moving your aperture around or whatever for a filmmaker, it's really important to practice, like really practice with everything that you have. And then you'll get it down. Then you have the opportunity to do the best work that you can possibly do. I mean, I think if you don't practice in that way, then you don't really have an opportunity to know how good you are, to use your talent, to get what you see, to express yourself creatively, to be the best artist that you could possibly be. It's like anything else. If you want to be a great guitar player, you got to practice the guitar. If you want to be a great piano player, even if you want to be a great jazz singer, like maybe some vocalists are just naturally gifted and they can just go out there and sing. Some people are like Chaka Khan. They could just wake up in the morning and be the best in the world. Aretha Franklin, people like that. But in most cases, with regards to any kind of artistry or creative practice, you have to practice. You have to put in the work. You have to get in your 10,000 hours, and that's where it begins. Because once you get in your 10,000 hours and you've mastered your craft, so to speak, that's when you take it to the next level and start to use your creativity, because you have all the fundamentals down. You have all the basics. There's nothing that you don't know how to do with your camera or your lens or your piano or whatever. And then you can really express yourself. And so, it's the same thing with writing. You're writing all the time. You want to get a grasp of language. That's why I got into poetry. When I first went into the poetry world, I had never even read a poem, let alone written one. But I knew that it would improve my use of language. I knew that it would stretch me out and, put me in a place that I wasn't really all that comfortable. And it made me a lot better. It made me a much better writer. It made me a better artist. It actually made me a better person. Because I think the better artist you are, the more empathy you have to have. And the more empathy you have, the better person you are. And it doesn't matter what your creative practice is. It doesn't matter what you choose as your thing. The better you are at it, the more empathy you're going to have, because the only way to be a great artist is to understand what's going on around you in the world. To really pay attention and to be sensitive to what people are going through, what people are experiencing and what you're experiencing, and the exchanges that you're having in your relationships, in your relationships in your personal life and in the relationships that you establish in your community with the people who are more just like, not friends, so to speak, but acquaintances. But it's still equally as important, I think. It might not be as important from day to day, but I think overall in the grand scheme of things, it's equally as important to be able to have exchanges on the train or on the bus or in a store, or, like today I went to a museum and I went to an art gallery today. And, everybody in there was much older than me, but I had these beautiful exchanges with so many people today. And it just, it's always a reminder to me that, we're not here by ourselves. We're here together as a community. It ain't all about you all the time. You have to remember that. And that should come through in your art. So anyway, back to the Helios. I'm going to post that video tomorrow. I'm posting this one today, obviously. And it just, as usual, everything that I do just teaches me a lot, And I feel like I learned so much knowing that I thought I knew everything about the Helios because I used it, probably 40, 50, 60 times. But I used it more in the last 2 days than I used it combined in all of those times. Like I used it for the last few days. So now I know what this lens is about. Now I know how I would use it and how I will use it, and I will never sell it. And so I think it'd be funny, like I don't know how many people are going to watch both videos, like if you see this one today and if you see my video tomorrow, but it'll be pretty funny if you're seeing this video to see the way I talk about the Helios tomorrow, because tomorrow's video happened before this video. And it was before I really knew what I was talking about. And a lot of it was tongue-in-cheek too, like I was being sarcastic, but I know that sometimes it's hard to tell when I'm being sarcastic. I understand that because I'm a pretty serious guy. But, for people who just show up to tomorrow's video, if they've never seen this one, hopefully they'll get it. But I know one thing, they will definitely, no matter what I say with my text, with my dialogue, no matter what I'm talking about, they will see, there's a lot of B-roll on that video, and they will see how beautiful this lens can be, how amazing, and how very special and how creative, how flexible. It allows you to do so many different things. It is literally an instrument. It's like a keyboard. It's like having 88 keys across a keyboard. It's like having 6 strings and a bunch of frets and being able to really work it. It's like a trombone, without having any kind of markers or a fretless bass where you have to move about the instrument without knowing exactly where A sharp, B sharp, C. Like you have to kind of feel it. That's what this second aperture ring is like, and I think it's pretty cool. And it's going to open up a whole new world for me in terms of what I do with this lens. Like, I know that if I have a project that I'm working on and it calls for this, I'll probably write a project based on the knowledge that I've gained over the last couple of days. Like, I don't know if I'll do it consciously, but I think now that I know what I know, I'll be like, damn, I could visually express myself in this way now. It's like a whole new toolbox. It's like I bought it's like I went to Home Depot and got a whole new set of tools. And to be honest with you, I'm one of the only guys that who, when I even see a Home Depot, I get nauseous, because in the real world, I don't know how to fix anything, but you know what I'm saying. A whole new world of tools for my creative work. Spiritual tools, creative tools, visual tools, filmmaking communication tools. So, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow with the other video, but I guess this video is about keep an open mind. Don't take things for granted. Don't think you know until you actually work with something, Don't give an opinion. Like, that's why I never did a real video about the Helios, because I guess I never felt like I really knew it, but now I know it. And now I understand how special it is. And so stay open, work hard, be diligent, be honest, be forthright with your work, and take the responsibility to use this platform in a way so that people actually get something from it that is valuable, not misleading, not something like, oh, okay, maybe I'll go buy that because he said it's awesome or it's amazing, as opposed to really standing on what you're saying. Really feel good about what you put out into the internet universe. Feel confident that nobody's going to come back and go, that guy's an asshole. Like, what he said has nothing to do with reality, and I've experienced that a number of times, and that sucks. So do the right thing. Do the right thing. Man, when I just saw the movie Sinners, it reminded me of the way I felt when I saw Do the Right Thing, which totally disarmed me, disabled me. I couldn't do anything for like 3 days. And I digress. So please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please consider joining my Patreon. That would make you my own personal superhero. Go to my website. Get to know me more in the real world. Watch my movies. And thank you so much for coming here. I appreciate you so much. And that's all I got to say about that for today. So see you tomorrow with the full Helios 44-2 video. All right. See you later.